Imagine doubling your salary without doubling your work hours. Let's be honest, it sounds like a scam, right? But one of my friends, let's just call him John for now, did exactly that. At 9 a.m., he's fixing a software bug for job A, and by 11 a.m., he's reviewing market data for job B. 2 remote jobs, 1 normal workday, and he's pulling in over $200,000 a year combined. And no, he's not some burnout workaholic. In fact, he's more relaxed than when he had just 1 job. How, you might ask? Well, he's mastered the art of overemployment, holding multiple remote jobs at once, by picking roles that let him work smarter, not harder. Now, the secret to John's success, and thousands of others who are doing this, is stacking the right remote jobs. Overemployment is all about doubling income without doubling workload, and that only works if your jobs are low on meetings and high on flexibility. I mean, think about it. If you juggle 2 typical 9-to-5 roles loaded with Zoom calls, you'll blow your cover or burn out within a week. The key is finding asynchronous roles, jobs where nobody's tracking whether you're online at every moment, so long as you deliver results. These roles let you control your schedule, work independently, and avoid constant interruptions. In other words, by picking jobs that are outcome-focused rather than hours-focused, you can actually do 2 or more jobs within the same time that most people do 1. It's not magic or cheating, it's about efficiency and leveraging your skills across multiple paychecks. Now, let's break down the easiest remote jobs you can stack that still pay out over $100,000, so you can start building your overemployed career without the burnout. Number 1, quality assurance or QA tester. QA testers are the unsung heroes who find bugs and make sure that software works smoothly. You'll run test scripts, click buttons trying to break things, and document issues so that developers can fix them. Many QA roles today are QA automation jobs, meaning you simply write scripts to test the software automatically. QA work is often repetitive and project-based, but once you've written your test cases or automation scripts, much of your job can just run in the background. Fewer emergencies pop up in QA, and you usually won't have constant meetings, maybe a stand-up or weekly check-in at most, which means you can allocate a couple of hours to job A's testing in the morning, then switch over to job B's testing in the afternoon, with no one bothering you in between. Some overemployed folks even automate so much that they're essentially monitoring their tests across multiple jobs. Now, attention to detail is key as a QA tester. Many testers come from a tech background, but you don't necessarily need to be a hardcore coder. Familiarity with testing tools or a bit of scripting knowledge helps out a bunch when you want to do automation. You can even transition from a non-tech role into QA by taking an online course in software testing. Now, the pay is solid. According to LinkedIn, a senior QA engineer in the US makes around $108,000 on average, with common ranges from $80,000 up to $150,000. Even mid-level QA roles can hit 6 figures at big tech companies or with in-demand automation skills. In short, QA is a great entry point into overemployment. It's relatively low pressure, async friendly, and well paid. Number 2, internal tools engineer. Now, think of this as a software developer who builds and maintains applications for the company's internal use rather than public-facing products. For example, you might create a custom tool to automate HR reports or an internal dashboard for the sales team. It's basically a coding job, but you're solving internal problems, integrating systems, writing scripts to save coworkers time, that kind of thing. Working with internal tools is typically a behind-the-scenes and project-oriented process. There are fewer hard deadlines as opposed to a public launch and almost no external customer meetings. You won't have a product marketing team breathing down your neck for a big release on Friday. If you need an extra day to tweak something, it's usually fine. Fewer fire drills means you can manage your time between 2 companies far more easily. One week, you may focus a bit more on job A's project, and the next week you pick up with job B, and so long as you deliver, no one suspects a thing. Communication is often async as well. Think Jira tickets or Slack messages that you can answer on your own schedule. Now, if you do want to go for this kind of work, you will need some software engineering skills, typically full stack or back-end development experience. But the good news is you're often using common languages like Python, JavaScript, etc., and not necessarily pushing the bounds of computer science theory. If you've been a software engineer or even a power user who learned to script, you can fit right into an internal tools role no problem. These roles also tend to pay like any other software engineering job. I mean, it's not uncommon to see salary ranges around $100,000 to $140,000 a year, and at senior levels or in high-cost areas, it can go well above that. In fact, one recent job listing advertised a remote internal tools engineer role at $80,000 to $150,000 a year. In short, you're getting SWE or software engineer money for a job that often has a calmer day-to-day. You're getting high pay, low drama, it's perfect for stacking. Number 3, data analysis or data engineer. Data jobs are all about turning raw data into useful information. Data analysts typically dig through databases or spreadsheets, create reports and dashboards, and help businesses make decisions based on trends. Now, data engineers build the pipelines and infrastructure that move the data around. They make sure that the data is collected, clean, and ready for those analysts. In smaller companies, one person might even do a bit of both. Now, data work is highly project-based and asynchronous. You might spend a day writing SQL queries, building a Tableau dashboard, or tweaking a data pipeline, none of which requires constant team chatter. Meetings are usually limited to maybe a planning session or a presentation of findings, which you can often schedule to avoid conflicts. And if you're careful, you can have Job A's data crunching running in the background while you're building a report for Job B. As one overemployed community member put it, a database is a database. Once you have the skills, you can apply the same methods in multiple companies. Some people even hold 5 or 6 data jobs at once and rake in over $1 million a year collectively. Now, that may be an extreme case, but it shows how scalable the data roles can be. Now, in terms of the skills you'll need, a strong analytical mindset and familiarity with data tools is needed. That usually means knowing SQL, maybe some Python or R, and experience with data visualization software. You may also need some knowledge of ETL tools and cloud data platforms. But many folks enter this field through an analytics job or by upskilling with online courses. It does require some expertise, but it is very learnable, and once you know it, you're pretty much golden. Now, data roles pay very well. A senior data engineer in the US earns around $130,000 on average, with common ranges in the $100,000 to $200,000 ballpark. Data analyst salaries vary more widely, but experienced analysts in tech or finance can also break into the 6-figure range. The demand for data skills is huge, so companies are willing to pay a premium for talent. And if you're working 2 data jobs, that can mean double the 6-figure income. Number 4, marketing operations, or marketing ops. Now, marketing operations is a tech meets marketing role. Instead of creating the ads or content, you're the person behind the scenes making sure the marketing machine runs smoothly. That can include managing the marketing tech stack, like the CRM, email automation platform, analytic tools, stuff like that. Building email campaigns or funnels, segmenting customer lists, and analyzing campaign data. You're basically the engineer of the marketing team, ensuring that all the tools and processes are in place for marketing campaigns to succeed. Marketing ops tends to be asynchronous and self-driven. You might spend a morning setting up an automated email sequence and an afternoon tweaking a Salesforce or HubSpot integration. All tasks you can do solo. There are relatively few meetings since you're not the frontline marketer discussing creative ideas every day. You're simply executing and optimizing in the background. Deadlines in marketing ops are usually tied to campaign launches, but with good planning, you can schedule your work across 2 jobs to not overlap major crunch times. Many deliverables can even be prepared in advance, like scheduling emails or reports, giving you the flexibility you need. Typically, a few years in digital marketing or operations is the experience you're going to need for one of these jobs. You should be comfortable with tools like marketing automation software, CRM databases, and maybe basic scripting or Excel to manipulate data. It's a role for a tech-savvy marketer or a business-savvy tech person. If you've ever managed a tool like Marketo, HubSpot, or Salesforce, or even just been the go-to person for figuring out software at a job, you already have a head start. Now, in terms of pay, marketing operations specialists and managers can earn hefty salaries, especially in tech companies. In the US, the average marketing ops manager pulls in around $110,000 to $120,000 per year, and at a high-performing company, total compensation can be well above that. Glassdoor reports total pay for some senior roles around $140,000 plus. Even regionally, it's common to see roles advertised in the high 5 figures to low 6 figures, and with 5+ years experience, you'll likely be firmly in 6-figure territory. So if you're able to stack 2 marketing ops gigs, you're looking at a serious income while doing very manageable work from behind your keyboard. By now, you're probably thinking, this sounds amazing, but how do I actually do it? Well, don't worry. You don't have to figure it all out alone. If you are serious about stacking remote jobs and want a step-by-step game plan, be sure to check out the OverEmployment Masterclass in the pinned comment down below. At this point, you have 2 choices. Go back to the 1-job grind and hope for a 3% raise next year, or take control and potentially double your income in the next few months. Overemployment isn't about being greedy or lazy. It's about being smart with your time and your skills. It's about financial freedom and a bit of job security through diversification. Because, come on, let's face it, having backup employment is pretty comforting in crazy times. If this video got your ears turning, do me a favor. Hit that like button and let me know down in the comment section below which of these roles caught your attention the most. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more deep dives into marketing overemployment work for you. I've got plenty more tactics and job breakdowns coming up. And remember, no one will care about your financial well-being more than you do. By stacking the right remote jobs, you're not just doubling your paycheck, you're rewriting the rules of your career. So go out there, leverage those skills, and build the life you want. The overemployment movement is all about working smarter, not harder. And now, you know where to start. So, good luck, stay ambitious, and I'll see you in the next one.